I would always think, why can't theater be as visceral and exciting as a rock concert is? And then I would go see theater and think, well, why can't a rock show like tell you a story or take you someplace, else? And a lot of the greatest rock shows I saw really did. And I always gravitated a lot to people like Bowie and people who, like to work in that DMZ between the two worlds. But what I think I've come to feel more as time goes on is that there are elements of each other in those things all the time, and it's more journalists who want to kind of divide and separate those things. And the people who work in those fields, like the musicians that I know, don't see those divisions as much. I have a lot of, even punk rock music friends who will go see theater because they actually get things from it and really enjoy it, and they don't have a problem with it. And I think it's more and more common now for actors to be musicians too. When I was doing Tommy, I didn't know many people who had bands. Now everybody seems to, but. Well, the challenges trying to operate in both worlds are largely logistical, like just trying to manage either one of those lives is kind of a full-time job, and so trying to do both is, two full-time jobs. I don't feel such a huge difference in the act of performing between the two. I think even if I'm doing, a non-musical play, I'm still aware of the musicality. If it's written well, there's a sense of music even in the speech and the interplay between actors, even if it's spoken text, is still has the elements of music in it. I really love when I get to put the whole ensemble together and sort of, it feels like I'm inside the record playing when I'm surrounded by acoustic string instruments. And I think in a venue like this especially, I think we probably won't have to mic things much at all. As much as possible, I'd love for it to be a genuinely acoustic kind of evening. And it's interesting because we don't hear music acoustically that often anymore. I think, performance spaces are living things. I love performing, and they're beautiful, brand new, acoustically tuned places all over that are also nice to perform in. But I really love performing in places that have had a history where, the echoes of people who have been on the stage are still bouncing around somewhere, and you just can sort of feel the different experiences that people have had coming to sit in those seats. And the more varied and more unique those have been, the more texture the air seems to have in those places. And this is definitely one of those. And also, its history as a spiritual center and its life as things other than a performing space, I think also adds a lot to the uniqueness and the specialness. And performing spaces are at a premium in Manhattan especially. I mean, so many places that I used to go to my favorite places to hear music have disappeared over the years. I mean, I'm totally one of those guys who walks down the street and goes, man, CBGB's, that's a clothing store. I can't deal with it. So having a place be reclaimed as a performance space and with a mission that's more than trying to get the highest alcohol price that they can, is rare and to me really meaningful. And the chance to get to play in a place like this, I mean, you feel very privileged having a chance to do it, and getting to be part of, you know, putting some more echoes bouncing around in the place when you leave, you know.